All right, everybody. Thank you for joining us. My name is Josh Walker. I'm the co-founder of the Sports Innovation Lab. I am here with Molly Tissenbaum. We are doing a new segment called Inside the Research, where we dive deeper into the Fluid Fan Behavior Series. Last month, we focused on a very important behavior. It's called Participate. When we looked at how COVID was changing the industry, especially in the area of sponsorship, we were talking to a number of you, partners, clients, prospects, about how you knew whether or not your fans wanted certain products or services. And we were trying to figure out where you were going to get that data, how you were going to understand what the fans actually wanted from you. And many of you looked into your CRM systems in this moment of urgency, right? Where we're all trying to figure out what to do next. And in your CRM systems, whether you're a property or a brand, you didn't really understand too much about the fan beyond some basic fan information, some what they call PPI, which is personal identifiable information. You knew maybe some purchase history, you knew their email, you maybe knew their address because you had things sent to their homes, but you didn't know what the fan was doing, how they were interacting with you. And when you look around sports, media, and entertainment, you're at a significant disadvantage if that's the case, because Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all the different social platforms know and can anticipate everything about your consumers. They can also direct their attention based on their algorithms and the way that they service media on their platforms. So our goal, by helping you understand how to get fans to participate, largely through sponsorship spend, is to help you capture that first party data so that you can anticipate exactly what it is that's going to move the needle for the fans that you want to reach. So last month, our behavior series focused entirely on that. I asked Molly to go off, look at our database, see what happened last year from 2019 to 2020, and really surface some of the brands that were doing things that were interesting in capturing that first party data. Who was leaning forward? Who was getting closer to this objective? And we created a framework. In the behavior series, if you read it, it'll show you that we were really focused on this concept of crawl, walk, run, something that's been expressed to us a number of times by some of the clients that we work with, which is to evolve their partnership strategy from the idea of just getting impressions and brand logo awareness to the part where they can sort of use their activation dollars to get the fans doing something. And as the fans start doing something, they get a better vision of how they should be doing that on an ongoing basis. And that's really where you get into the run phase, which is if you can get the fans to participate on an ongoing basis, come back frequently, now you're starting to learn about their patterns of behavior. And we want to help our clients get in that mindset because that's really what the leading brands are doing. So Molly, with that as the setup, we talked a lot about the philosophy some brands have in sports sponsorship, how they approach their sponsorship dollars differently than the traditional brands. Which brands surfaced to the top of your analysis and why?
Yeah, so I can share my screen really quickly and show the power play index that we built for this month, and it becomes pretty clear that Red Bull is one of the leaders in this next generation of sponsorship, where we're going beyond really cool activations that go viral, and we're moving towards that participation platform. And Red Bull does this in a whole bunch of different ways, beyond just the fact that they own sports teams across multiple types of properties. One of the things that they have in their Red Bull Stadium app, which operates for the New York Red Bulls, is a personal profile for each fan who's part of the fan club. And that gives Red Bull inside information and a personalized experience to each fan. And there's a customer service rep who is assigned to each of those fans. So what they're doing is they're creating an environment and a community where they've got this information about what games these people are attending, what they're doing when they're in the venue, where they're sitting, what they're buying. And all of those different indicators give them the opportunity to then not necessarily market, but provide a better experience the next time that those fans return. And it also gives them the opportunity to extend that sponsorship time horizon beyond just game time.
And that was a big thing that you and I talked about when we were trying to figure out how do we succinctly communicate this idea to people. We said one of the main things is think about activation differently. Not only think about behaviors instead of just their demographic information, like fans in New York, because people use their sponsorship dollars to activate geographies all the time. We need to be in the LA market. We need to be in the New York market. We need to, launch this product in Berlin. They buy or associate their media spend with that geography. What Red Bull's doing, though, is they're owning properties in the areas that are key to them. And they're using technology in those markets to learn more about the behaviors of those consumers over a period of time. And that's just a different philosophy. And I know that most people will look at this, roll their eyes and go, yeah, but we're not Red Bull. We don't have their marketing budget. What are Red Bull and Budweiser in particular doing differently from an operational perspective to take advantage of this opportunity?
Yeah, from an operational perspective, Red Bull and Budweiser and Rakuten and Coca-Cola for that matter, all of the brands that score very highly on tech alignment have started to think about themselves less as either event companies where you give out samples, or content companies where they're sponsoring digital assets or highlights. And they're starting to think about the ways that those two things converge. And what's really unique about that is that opens up, again, that time horizon for how often you can get in touch with those fans and have them participate in contests and have them actively advocate for your brand. So Red Bull has always, for a long time, has been the king of content in terms of Red Bull TV. They've got their own channels. They're on social media. Their brand is extreme, and they've leaned into that. Budweiser has brought all of their content creation, advertising dollars in-house so that they can control not just their creative, but the strategy behind their creative and where they put their creative and how they use the different pieces of information about their fans in order to continue to expand the number of opportunities that they have to interact with those fans.
So I feel like we expounded on this idea pretty extensively in our report, which we just finished publishing, Data-Driven Sponsorship, where we are looking at, in this Power Play Index, a lot of evidence from 2019 to this year. And you and I have done a tremendous amount of research in this calendar year, 2020, where the urgency to do more of this has really kind of been front and center with COVID and the health crisis, because now we have nobody in the stadium. We're much less clear on who's watching and consuming media because the competition schedule has pushed all these games into the same window of time. So what's happened is you see brands like Google and Major League Baseball launching the film room, which is a very cool sort of experiential thing that fans can go to for an ongoing period of time and continue to play with their favorite sports media from Major League Baseball. That's one of these platform ideas that we're starting to see emerge, where a brand working with their partner sponsor is really building an asset. And I think that that's the biggest thing that comes out of all of the research we've done around this particular behavior of participate, which is when you have fans participating, you're no longer measuring impressions, eyeballs, and things of that nature. You're really building an asset, which is your CRM database that has fan behavior in it, so that you are in a better position not only to be agile and all those really nice, warm and fuzzy buzzwords, but to really start predicting where you put your investments in the future. And that's why we recommend all of you dive into the behavior series from last month. It's Participate. Get a grounding of what it means to crawl, walk, and run, and then pick up Data-Driven Sponsorship, which is the report that hit in September about the future of sponsorship. So you get a sense of what it's going to take organizationally to evolve what you're doing today from an activation perspective and start building platforms that collect first-party data. Thank you guys for joining us. This has been Inside the Research. We'll do another one next month when we dive into co-viewing, co-watching, and the behavior that has emerged now of fans getting together and watching live media. Thanks for joining us.